Well, Jennifer, when I started Exemplar 15 years ago, somebody said, why do you have to go change the world? Like, why do you have to go do that? It sounds awfully difficult. And with you've got this degree, that degree. I mean, you can go do a bunch of stuff, and this success stories that you've had. You can get a great job and get paid very well. And the words that came out of my mouth were because I can, I must. And I didn't realize that was actually quite deep. At the time, it sounded very simple. And then years later, I realized it's a definition of calling or purpose.
Yeah.
Like it was just, I knew what my cross was. I knew what my purpose was.
There.
And, so the question I pose to you is, there's a lot of things you can do, and you've chosen to take a stand. And, and those who've started businesses knows that you can throw your life savings on black a few times, and then you get a limited number of tries before you kind of time out. And particularly when you have, the family stuff you're dealing with your son and everything, and the fact that you have found with those priorities, the energy, the courage, like, why this? Like, why did you decide to do it and take that stand, take the leap?
Yeah, I will say that, these are things that don't, and some people are blessed with the aha moment. Some people are like, this is my life's calling. Perhaps that happened to you 15 years ago when you knew that you could and you must, and that was what you were going to do. For me, I did hem and haw quite a bit. It was that, I think I was, it just wasn't the right time at that time, because I wasn't willing to take that step, whether it might have been because I wasn't in a financially secure enough place in order to be able to go out on a limb and be able to say, I'm going to put all my cards on black now, or whether I believed in myself enough to do it. And like I mentioned, I had suffered from self-esteem issues, but then ultimately, I'm turning 50 this year. I am like getting ready to take the big dive into the next half of my life. And so I think that with thinking about how do I want to spend the rest of my life, and thinking about what really means something and what kind of legacy that I want to leave behind, I really and truly kind of circled and found my Ikigai, if you're familiar with that term of Ikigai, of trying to combine what I loved with what I did well, with what the world needed, and what I thought that could, be somewhat rewarding from a financial or from a just more of a sustainability, from a work and regenerative and abundant standpoint. And so in combining all of those things, I essentially came to the fact that, my Ikigai, the center of what my work should be, is to inspire compassion. And how I do that is manifested in this way of finding inner beauty, and being able to celebrate diversity and inclusion and wellness. And a lot of that, of course, as you probably guessed, is inspired by my son's story. Because now he's 14 years old, and he is, still a boy who is severely disabled. He has a lot of health needs, and recognizing that there are biases against, the disabled community and those that are differently abled or have neurological differences. I've become, very much aware of that important sect of our society that is underserved and in the minority as well. And so, but I saw his beauty every single day. I saw the spirit in him touching other people's lives with compassion, because as soon as you see somebody who is, so much in a different place physically from you are, it does shake you up a little bit. It does make you all of a sudden recognize within yourself, again, by comparison, but that's the way that we kind of operate sometimes. It's like, I really have a really good life. I don't really have too much to complain about. I have the ability to walk. I have the ability to talk. I have the ability to eat. I have the ability to draw breath. These are things that he cannot do on his own without support. And so, trying to think about that and then bridge what I have been working on before, which was beauty, is just thinking about the beauty of humanity, the beauty of this, this quilt that we all are in society, and coming together and being unified and being one. And I would love to be able to at least plant the seeds for more love of humanity, more kindness, and more compassion through everything that I do, whether it be the children's books that I'm writing, or the human beauty movement and the products that we're putting out, and so a lot of these again are just manifestations of what the values are.